closely also points out that air conditioners are not really cooling but ironically heating up the environment.
What an air conditioner does, it takes the heat from inside your house or the room where you have put it and just throws it out. So the compressor unit, which you are aware of your air conditioner, if you go and stand behind it when it's running, you feel a blast of hot air coming out of it. And what this hot air does, it mixes with the natural air which is moving around, which is usually supposed to be cooler. So traditionally we used to open our windows and all to get this cool breeze in the evening come inside your house or in the night, which cools your house down. But now this air conditioner is throwing hot air into that, and this is just the microclimate. If you talk at the global scale, the energy used to run air conditioner is massive, and generation of electricity is still mostly driven by coal, which is adding to the overall global warming and climate change. So it's making the microsystem worse, it's making the macro system worse, and it's overall just gonna be a disaster in future.
In India, what has perhaps exacerbated the problem is the complete shift from the traditional wisdom and concepts of Indian architecture to blindly aping modern designs that then fail to cope with the heat stress.
One thing I really hate about the current state of architecture or the construction is that we always look up to the West for answers and solutions and try to bring in whatever new it is. New is not always good. The whole idea is how can we enhance upon the methods that we already existed and use the current ways to actually improve upon the systems that are there. We have a rich culture and heritage that really talks about beautiful systems that have been successfully implemented, and there are living examples of such like those architectural marvels. Now what can we do about it? Can we do something like that in today's date? We are not short of technology, we are not short of materials, we are not short of labor and the machines. So it's only about the mindset of the architects. They need to start looking at it in a different manner on how to actually connect both the ends and get the best of both the worlds.
This binary and studio installation, displayed at an exhibition by UNDP, strives to fulfill two ends. The terracotta structure with water provides cooling, while the vertical garden helps tackle air pollution. At this farmhouse near Greater Noida, these terracotta roof tiles have been upcycled into a beautiful art installation, which otherwise would have gone to waste. The same design could have also been converted into a cooler if it had been designed from scratch.
The mountains to the north side of the wall in the shade. As I explained in my ancient air conditioning video, a kanat is an underground aqueduct which transports water to the surface. In the case of these yakchals, it transports water from the mountains to the yakchals. In the winter, a few inches of water is then collected in a pool each day that by morning will be frozen due to the cold night temperatures. The villagers break the ice in the morning and bring it inside the yakchal to store it. This is repeated each day during the short winter time until the yakchals are full. Another way to fill the yakchals with ice was to collect the ice straight from the shaded parts of the mountain, transport it to the yakchals and store it inside. The ice stored inside could be kept cold throughout the year. Even in the hottest summer days, it would still be incredibly cold inside the yakchal. The combination of the thick walls, the cool waters that ran down its side, and sometimes the combination with wind catchers and wind towers kept the stored ice frozen throughout the entire summer. Inside at the bottom of the yakchal would be a trench. This is where the melted ice would be caught, and during the cold desert nights it would freeze. These ice houses weren't just for the upper class, but most of them were actually public. Everyone was able to use them during the hot summer days. Shops in villages would use the ice from the yakchals to keep their fruits and sherbets cold, and huge chunks of ice would be transported by donkey and sold in the province. We know of yakchals still being in use in the 1960s, but unfortunately since then they've all fallen out of use. A true shame that when industrialization became widespread in the area, and people getting common refrigerators at home, these yachtjals became an abandoned eyesore to many. The ice from a yachtjal wasn't as clean as the modern techniques. The ice was often tainted with dust and soil because it was created in open areas in the middle of a desert. So it's not that strange that they've fallen out of use, although it is of course a shame that most of them are now deteriorating rapidly. Some yachtjals have been restored, as we can see in the cities of Kermen and Orumi. This is to show visitors of the city the uniqueness of these ice houses and the ingenuity of the Persian builders thousands of years ago. Once again, Iran showed us its traditional architecture, which originated from the harsh and severe climatic conditions in which the inhabitants survived for thousands of years. Their architectural style evolved due to climate being the most important factor for their evolutionary building styles and inventions. They were masters in keeping themselves cool in a place that could be considered uninhabitable without